My name is Mike, and I'm just a computer science teacher at school. Teaching young minds the wonders of programming and algorithms has become my passion for many years. I have spent countless hours making lesson plans, explaining complex theories, and guiding my students through the intricacies of programming languages. School has become a second home for me, and my colleagues are like a quirky, but at the same time a nice family. But even though I'm immersed in the world of technology, I'm not a stereotypical tech introvert. No matter how much I loved my job, there was always a small gap in my life, the absence of someone special to share it with. Why don't I have a girlfriend yet? I get very bored alone and sad. After a busy day of teaching and helping my students solve the mysteries of algorithms, I was returning to my newly built house. My house was a cozy shelter that I carefully designed according to my interests. My living room was decorated with bookshelves filled with programming books, classical literature, and my collection of fishing guides. Yes, that's right, fishing was my salvation from the digital world. This allowed me to disconnect from the network and connect with nature in a way that lines of code would never be able to. Very often, because of loneliness, I communicated with myself. It's very boring at home, I'm tired of sitting here. Okay, I'll go fishing now and have a good rest. My trusty pickup truck was loaded with fishing gear. I went to the serene lake, my favorite fishing spot, to watch the sunrise dancing on the water. Casting a fishing rod, I enjoyed the beauty of nature and the tranquility that enveloped me. I think to find a girl you need to expand your social circle. Maybe I should sign up for a gym or a library. The light ripples on the water, the singing of birds and the morning silence brought me a sense of peace that was hard to find anywhere else. My house and my fishing trips were my refuge from the hustle and bustle of this world. Loneliness began to weigh on me, and I realized that I wanted to share these moments with someone. So, evening came and I decided to return home. In addition, mosquitoes appeared that bit painfully and interfered with fishing. So I returned by car, my mind still filled with the tranquility of the lake. The sun begins to set, flooding the world with a warm glow. The road stretches ahead, winding between fields and trees. A girl runs out of nowhere onto the road, desperately calling for help. Please, please help. Stop the car, we need your help. I slam on the brakes, my heart racing as I jump out of the car. What's wrong with you? Her face showed concern. My mother has become very ill and she urgently needs medical help. Without hesitating for a second, I offer my help. I help the girl and her mother get into my truck, feeling a rush of adrenaline as I rush to the nearest hospital. The trip is tense, the girl's excited voice leads me through unfamiliar streets. Finally, we arrive, and I help them inside, hoping that the doctors will be able to alleviate the mother's suffering. While we are sitting in the waiting room, our anxiety gradually turns into a conversation. By the way, we didn't have time to get acquainted. My name is Mike. Very nice, my name is Sarah. Thank you again for your help. We find ourselves chatting about everything in the world, about our lives, our interests, and our hopes for the future. There is an undeniable connection between us, something that makes me feel that this chance meeting should have happened. When I was sitting in that hospital waiting room, talking to Sarah, I couldn't help but feel a sense of camaraderie for her. She was smart, witty, and her smile could brighten up even the darkest moments. By the way, I am a teacher and I work at a school. After work, I really like to read books at home. I am very interested in this. It can't be. Me too. Since childhood, I have loved to read and learn something new in different fields. The more we talked, the more I realized how much we had in common. We had similar interests and values, and our views on life seemed to coincide perfectly. It was like searching for a missing part that I didn't even know about. The chief doctor came out of the ward and said, "So, your mom is fine. We have done everything necessary and she is already on the mend. With proper treatment, she will be healthy in a week." We were overcome with relief, and when I drove them back home, there was a tangible feeling that something extraordinary was happening. I walked them to the door. On the threshold, when we were saying goodbye, Sarah looked at me with her captivating eyes and said, "Mike, thank you for everything again. You have become dear to me." Before she turned to leave, I plucked up the courage to ask, "Sarah, is there any chance that we'll see each other again? I would really like that." To my delight, she agreed, and we exchanged contact information. As I watched her leave, I was overcome with a sense of excitement and anticipation. Hooray! I didn't expect this to happen. I'm so glad about it. After that fateful meeting in the hospital, Sarah and I began to spend more time together. Our meetings were filled with laughter, deep conversations, and a growing sense of comfort next to each other. I found myself looking forward to our conversations, whether it's about programming, literature, or just about our dreams and aspirations. One day, when we were sitting on the porch of my newly built house, watching the sunset paint the sky pink and gold, I took a leap of faith. With my heart pounding, I confessed to her, "Sarah, I've been wanting to tell you for a long time, I really like you and I would like to be your boyfriend and not just a friend." To my delight, she blushed and confessed that she felt the same way. This marked the beginning of a new chapter in our lives. We officially became a couple, and the joy that filled my heart was indescribable. Our lives intertwined in a way I could never have foreseen, and I treasured every moment spent together. I'll never forget the day we decided to make the jump and move in together. It was like a natural development of our relationship. Our evenings after work became a favorite time when we gathered in our cozy living room. We often spent hours reading, sharing our thoughts on various topics, and immersing ourselves in the worlds created by the authors. I was struck by how much Sarah shared my passion for knowledge, and her insights often brought me into awe. One evening, when we were sitting side by side on the sofa, immersed in an exciting novel, Sarah looked at me with a playful smile. "You know, Mike, you're just a walking encyclopedia. I can't believe how much you know about the world." I grinned, feeling a mixture of pride and slight embarrassment. But Sarah's words reminded me of the unique bond we shared. I admired how she fit seamlessly into my life, how we could spend the whole day in each other's company without getting tired of it. One day there was a knock on our door, and when I opened it, Sarah's mother was standing there, looking tired. "Hi, nice to see you. I have problems with housing. Can I stay with you for one night?" Naturally, I welcomed her to our house. At first it was a temporary arrangement and I didn't think anything about it. But the days turned into weeks, and her stay here lasted longer than expected. Although I was more than happy to help, I began to feel the tension of the situation. Our once cozy space was now a little crowded, and the dynamics have changed. We were no longer just the two of us, now the three of us were coping with the difficulties of living together under the same roof. Despite my growing discomfort, I hesitated to voice my concerns, fearing that it might upset Sarah or her mother. How do I tell Sarah about this? It's her mom after all. I'm very uncomfortable. She's been living here too long. The weeks turned into a couple of months, and since her mother didn't give any signs that she was going to leave. I loved Sarah deeply and wanted our relationship to flourish, but her mother's prolonged stay created tension. One day I found myself in a difficult situation. Sarah's mother came to me with an unexpected idea. "Dear Mike, can you help me please? I need you to go to another city and find me a place to live. I will be very grateful to you." She assured me that it would be for the best, as it would give them a chance to get closer while I was looking for a suitable apartment. Reluctantly, I agreed, thinking it was a way to make everyone happy. "Okay, I'll move out and find you a better place to live. See you soon." With a mixture of hope and trepidation, I went in search of a suitable apartment for Sarah's mother. The city was unfamiliar, but I was determined to fulfill my promise. Days turned into weeks as I scoured the streets, visited apartment after apartment, and finally found a place that seemed right for me. Well, finally, now she will be able to move into this housing and not interfere with us living and developing with my girlfriend. Filled with excitement, I returned home, eager to share the news with Sarah and her mother. But when I reached for the door handle, a bad feeling came over me. The door was locked, and a loud voice from inside told me to. "Haha, how could you believe that? Now this is not your house and we will live here and not you." Confused and shocked, I couldn't believe what was happening. My mind was working feverishly, trying to make sense of the situation. As I stood in front of my own house, I was overcome by a sense of betrayal. How could this happen? What did I do wrong? Why is Sarah on her side? Soon the truth was revealed. Sarah's mother came up with a cunning plan to manipulate me. She turned my house into her fortress, using my own feelings against me. She even managed to convince Sarah to take her side, leaving me to watch from the sidelines. It was a painful realization. The house I had worked so hard for, the life I had built, was slipping away from me because of a plan I could not have foreseen. The feeling of helplessness was overwhelming, and I had no choice but to accept the situation. You see, in the early days of our relationship, I put the house in her name as a sign of trust and dedication. Why was I so trusting and signed the house over to my girlfriend? I never could have imagined that it would be used against me in this way. As I struggled with this heartbreaking truth, a new reality began to dawn on me. The life I knew was ruined, and the person I fell in love with was manipulated by her own mother. The pain was almost unbearable, and I struggled to come to terms with the betrayal that unfolded before my eyes. With a heavy heart and a sense of loss, I left the house that was once a symbol of my achievements and dreams. It was painful to leave behind the life I had built, the memories I had created, and the love that once flourished within these walls. When I got into my pickup truck, I was seething with a mixture of emotions, anger, sadness, and a deep sense of betrayal. What should I do now? How to live and where should I go? I've lost everything. After a broken heart, I turned to the only activity that always brought me comfort, fishing. I returned to that serene lake where I had spent countless hours looking at the calm water that had witnessed my joys and sorrows. It was there, at the water's edge, that I found a place for healing and reflection. I looked at the lake, thinking about all the twists and turns that my life had made. And when the sun sank below the horizon, I made a decision. Okay, so that's how it should be. I will learn from my mistakes and will not get depressed. With renewed determination, I developed a plan. I decided to start all over again in a new city, away from the ghosts of my past. I rebuilt my life following my passions and created a life that was truly mine. Over time, I found a job at a new school where I could continue to share my knowledge and passion for computer science. I immersed myself in my work, reviving my love of teaching and inspiring the minds of a new generation. How do you like this story? Did this guy do the right thing? Write your opinion in the comments. I will be happy to answer you. And also, subscribe to the channel. I love you.